If you're running a development agency or product studio, this will save you weeks of back and forth, prevent wasting your costly developers' time, and help you sign more clients. Let me know if this scenario sounds familiar. A client sends over a vague brief, a few emails, some random reference links. You jump into meetings, you create wireframes, maybe some Figma mockups. You send them over, wait for feedback, revise, repeat. Eventually you get sign off and then development starts. The first real version shows up and suddenly it's, oh, that's not what I expected. Now you're redoing work, your developers are frustrated, your timelines slip and your margins shrink. Clients changing their minds is normal, happens all the time, but the problem is finding out too late. In this video, I'll show you how you can create something that feels real without actually building it, how you can turn a rough client brief into polished, realistic screens in under 10 minutes, so you can get real feedback in the first meeting, align expectations instantly, and avoid wasted work. I'll walk you through the full process step by step using Composo with a real client example. Okay, so here's the brief I'm working with today. This is from a fintech startup called InvestFlow. Let me read you what they sent. We need a web platform for beginner investors. Main features: track portfolio performance, educational content, easy onboarding. The target audience is 25 to 40-year-olds who are new to investing. I wanted to feel approachable, not intimidating like traditional finance apps. Need both desktop and mobile. Budget is tight, so we need to validate the concept before full development. References: Robinhood simplicity, but less gamified. Mint dashboard clarity. That's it. That's the entire brief. Just ideas and competitor references. Normally, you'd spend days on discovery calls, creating project briefs, wireframing, but I'm going to use Composo to build this out right now. And for those who don't know what Composo is, it's basically an AI design tool I built specifically for this kind of rapid design work. Let me show you how it works. Composo is different from Figma or Webflow. You're not starting with a blank canvas. You describe what you need, like landing page for a fintech app or investment dashboard, and it generates actual screens with layout, content, components, everything. But it's not just for templates, it understands context. So when I tell it this for beginner investors who find traditional finance intimidating, it'll adjust the design language, the copy, and the way information is organized. Cool, right? Now let's build this thing. Okay, so let me just open up Composo here, and the first thing you'll see is the dashboard page. I'm going to start a new project. Now, if you have a bigger project with multiple screens, you can use the multi-screen feature to generate them all at once. But for this walkthrough, I'm going to build them one at a time so you can see exactly how each screen comes together. Let me start with the landing page. In the prompt box, I'll type something like create a landing page for InvestFlow, a beginner-friendly investment platform. Target audience is 25 to 40-year-olds new to investing. Tone should be approachable and educational. Include a hero section with value proposition, how it works section, trust indicators, and CTA. Now here I'm going to select a single screen since we're building individual pages. Okay, let's generate this. This usually takes around 1 minute or so, depending on which mode you selected. And there we go. So we've got this nice light green background, really calming vibe, InvestFlow logo at the top with navigation menu. The hero section's got a strong headline, and there's this mobile mockup on the right showing what the actual app looks like. Portfolio with real numbers, some holdings listed. Looks pretty good. Got a bright green CTA button right in the center. Then there's this trust badge from major publications, 3 feature cards explaining how it works, security information, and some customer testimonials at the bottom. What's cool is the copy isn't just generic filler, it actually reads like it's written for people new to investing. So yeah, that's our landing page. Pretty solid for a first pass. Now let's build the dashboard. This is where users would actually see their investments. Let me create another page, and to keep the design consistent with our landing page, you just have to click on this reference button here. This tells Composo to match the style we've already established. Then I'll type this prompt. Now create an investment dashboard for beginners. Take this as a reference. Show portfolio value, allocation chart, recent activity, individual holdings with performance, and keep it simple. Generating now. Okay, so look at this. We've got a side navigation here, portfolio summary showing total value and today's gain. There's a pie chart for allocation and recent activity down here. The layout is pretty clean, not too dense. This is exactly the kind of screen that normally takes hours to wireframe in Figma. We just did it in like 6 minutes. Pretty cool, right? All right, the client also mentioned they need a mobile view. Let me show you how to do that. I'm going to select this screen and tell Composo to generate mobile versions. You just have to click the mobile app option for this. Now I'll write adapt these screens for mobile devices and watch what happens. It's automatically stacking the content vertically, turning the navigation into a bottom navigation bar, making the buttons bigger for thumbs, and reformatting the charts to fit smaller screens. So now the client can see both desktop and mobile designs. This eliminates those awkward, it looks weird on my phone conversations after development starts. There is one more thing I want to mention. When you're working on a project like this, make sure you either use the use as reference button as we've been doing to keep the same style, or you can also save it as a custom theme. That way, if you need to generate more screens later, everything stays cohesive. Alternatively, you can also use the project context feature to give Composo background information about your project, so every new screen it generates already understands who the audience is and what the brand should feel like. Okay, now let's share this with the client. I'm going to click on this share button here and Composo generates a link. That's it, just a URL. I send this to the client, they open it on their laptop, click around, test it on their phone, and usually within like an hour I'm getting feedback, real feedback like, can the allocation chart be bigger? Or let's add a search function for stocks, or make the educational section more prominent. That's actionable feedback, the kind you only get when someone can actually see what the final product looks like. And the client sees that you get their vision, you turn their brief into something tangible in one meeting, and that builds a lot of trust. All right, that's basically the workflow, client brief to polished screens in just 10 minutes. If you want to try it out, just go to composo.ai. We have a free plan. Grab a client brief and test this process once. You'll save yourself a bunch of time and probably sign more clients as a result. And if you want a complete breakdown on how to use Composo and all its features, just watch this tutorial right here. And yeah, that's it. Let me know in the comments what kind of projects you're working on. See you next time.